My name is Belinda Wasser, also known as RocketGirl, and today we're going to talk about time tracking tips for virtual assistants. When I became a virtual assistant 10 years ago, tracking time was one of the most difficult things for me to learn. It was the most difficult new skill more than anything, because even though I'd had a job for decades and I was productive and was able to manage projects and get work done, tracking my time minute by minute was not something I'd ever thought about. So this was a big transition for me. So today I want to talk about some time tracking tips for virtual assistants. Keep in mind that our clients are paying for, in my mind, our expertise and also our time. So think about that as a product and make sure that you're getting paid for every minute that you work. Here's a couple ways to do that. You want to use an online time tracking system. I use Toggle. There are plenty of other options out there. I use the free version. So it's not necessary to spend money on time tracking software, but just make sure that you have one that you like and that you'll use regularly. I keep it open all the time. So I'm never hunting for it or wondering where it is. It's pinned in a tab in my browser on one of my screens, and I always know where it is. It's important when you're tracking time to do work for one client at a time. So here's how this works in my mind. I sit down at my desk and I say, okay, I'm going to work on Lori's newsletter. So I look at the time, I make a note of it, I open up everything that I need, I'll get my notes, I'll open the Word document she sent, I'll scan her email, and I'll get to work. Then what I do is I keep going with all of her work until I'm finished. And then I close all my applications, get everything organized again, and then look at the time, and then I put that time into Toggle. Now, sometimes what happens is you're waiting for a sensitive piece of information. Let's say you've got a project that's going out tonight, but you're just waiting for one email with a little detail from your client. So what I'll do in that case is I'll continue to work on one client's work. But then, from time to time, every 15 minutes or so, I might glance over at my email. And if that information comes in, what I'll say to myself is, okay, I'm stopping this. I look at the time, I'll put it into Toggle. I start the other task, finish it, put the time in Toggle, and then go back to the project I was working on before. So really keeping in my mind that it's straight, the time, who the time belongs to. You want to round your time. So I have seen on some timesheets for virtual assistants that they'll have like 14 minutes and 15 seconds. You just want to round that up. And the other thing is we can spend a whole day doing things, 5-minute things all day long, and you could easily lose a day just answering quick questions in email. So here's the school of thought that I have on that. If something is a yes/no email, that's 5 minutes. If it's a yes/no email and it's part of another part of the project, I charge for the actual time. But if it's just the one thing that they need, it's 5 minutes. If I start to have to do research, look in a folder, look at my notes, something like that to answer the question, that becomes 10 minutes. And as soon as I open an application, start moving things around, making changes, that's 15 minutes, or the amount of time that it actually takes. So if I open an application and do that work, and then I work for 25 minutes, that's how much I charge my client for 25 minutes. And then I mentioned this earlier, but I want to really bring this point home. You want to clean your desktop up and your desk, if you have papers, before you stop the clock. So let's say I've opened, a Word document, my email's open, I've got my notes open, and this sort of mess on my desktop. I close everything down before I look at the clock and finish up, because closing the work down is just as important as opening it up, and I charge for that as well. So I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'd love to hear in the comments which tip resonated with you, and I'd also like to know what time tracking software you're using. So whether you're watching us on Periscope, Facebook, LinkedIn, or on our YouTube channel, just drop your comments, your thoughts right in the comments. All right, so before we go, I would like to invite everyone who's here to my free online classroom. In order to find it, go to Facebook and put in the search bar, the Virtual Assistant Connection. You'll be brought to our group, our private group, where you can click the join button and come on in. We have over 8,000 members, tons of content, an amazing, amazing community, and we love to have you join us. So come on over and check us out. Until the next episode, I'm Belinda Wasser, Rocket Girl, signing off. Bye-bye.